Welcome back, class, to another animation collab where I try new techniques in my animation laboratory in collaboration with other content creators. My name is Sonja and I'm a motion designer, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to support me. I do live streams every Tuesday and Friday, and you can find all my past streams on my YouTube channel. Today, I will be continuing the collaboration with Andy, who you can find on YouTube under ROT169. And we are almost there with the storyboard. We're almost finished. We're almost close enough to set up all of the files for animation. This is the moment you've been waiting for. Hi, Simon. Thanks for joining. So I hope we are going to be able to finish it today. I don't know. We might need one more stream to do that, but for sure we're gonna get close. So let's have a look at the current state of that storyboard. Here we are. And I've cleaned up a little bit the scenes before the ones we were working on last time, or rather you saw me working on. And I've cleaned up the screen a little bit to be more in line with this scene. So previously I had two of these windows coming up in this screen, on this computer screen. And now it's just the one where the little hacker guy tries to climb in because he is trying to get higher access. You see what I mean? Higher level access. But then he wasn't able to because there is two levels of access: administrator level and system level access. So he failed, he fell off the screen, and we zoom into this screen to have it here. And so this hacker is trying to get credentials to hack into the system with that extra level of security. Inserts the credentials into the screen. So this is the metaphor we're working with, and receives the password and gets in. Then he discovers, they discover other machines on this network, so this will be expanding and revealing more of these dots, and then these connections will start being created as the malware spreads across the system. And these are three different techniques to attack. So it's the credential access, which is this one, it's the discovery, and it's the lateral movement. And the hacker would then try to use various combinations of the three to gain access, but because that might take too long or is too laborious, and they want to keep attacking the system, they might want to use a command and control way of doing it. So this is the scene that I still need to get signed off by Andy, because I'm not sure it's really reflecting what he'd like to show in this scene. But nevertheless, this is the scene we are left with. We're then zooming into a few of the center dots, and the other ones are kind of disappearing as we're zooming in. Because now we're explaining collection, and collection means they are now, the hacker would now be collecting data from the system that they would exfiltrate and take away from the system. Some hackers care even less about sealing confirmation. They want to damage the system they've hacked. So this is where the bugs are spreading across the screen, and the screen is cracking and being set on fire. And then we are back at the attack framework. I always forget what the word for it is. It's a framework. So essentially, that is pretty much the last of this animation. So we kind of already finished the storyboard, which is great. I thought there was still a scene left or something, but actually we've already finished the storyboard. So the main work that I'll be doing today is refining some of the graphics. So I also noticed in this screen, when I was setting these assets up, I think I just hid a few assets. No, in this screen I didn't have the assets. Okay, so one thing that I might want to do just for myself to identify where the assets are. Well, I guess I can just duplicate the screen. Okay. Let me demonstrate something. So basically what I want to do at the end of, after this access log screen has gone away, after that we'll see the sorry, I need to find which one this is. So after this we see this window, this one. But because I want to kind of reveal that window, so after the access screen has disappeared, I want to reveal the window behind it. Something's got to change, because right now, having overlaid them, the window in the back is too high, so the height is too large to be hidden by this access logs. So I think the easiest, because I like the way the this window looks, that it doesn't fill the screen. That's not usual for browser windows or like Explorer windows if you're on Windows. There's so many windows. I'm saying the word Windows too many times. It's more likely that they're closer to a square format than they are to a wide rectangular format. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to change this access logs window to hide the window behind, and essentially make it the same width. So I'm going to just move this over. I mean, the other thing I could do is that it's not actually hiding the window, it's just popping up as it comes in. That's another possibility that I could approach it by, but actually I think I just prefer the look of this being this more square looking design. I mean, it's not a square, but it's closer to a square. It's more like a 4x3 rather than a 16x9 sized window. Let's put it that way. What is this little dot thing here? Something weird going on here. Going to straighten this out. What is that? Oh, it's a little mouse thing. Okay, that's fine. So this way it actually hides that, and now I want to actually hide it again. Yeah, so then it becomes smaller. Now this is obviously the wrong size again, but that's fine. Well, I might as well correct this. So basically, let's make it this small. No worries. Thanks for tuning in, Tom. Good to see you. Yeah, so this is not super necessary for me to actually do this, but because I don't want to get confused sometime down the line when I'm setting up my scene files, I want to set up the these things beforehand. And now I can also see that these lines look kind of weird. I guess I could do the lines later on instead of like this. They are kind of faked. Yeah, sure, why not? I'll fix that later when I'm actually setting up the scene files. For now, I'm just gonna do it like this. And then here we do not see the text. The text is probably this, yeah. And then we don't see this. And for the mouse, I'm actually just going to move the mouse a little closer in, I think, just so it's not, or I can move it out actually, or in, out, in, out. Let's put it here. And I think what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to copy this scene over here so that no matter which one of these I grab, it's going to be the final asset. So, something is missing. I want this copy V. Yep, there we go. And it should be this one. Okay. And now in here, let's turn all the relevant things on again. And this I can delete because that's just, you know, showing the animation, but it's not really, it's not necessary to have that in the final asset. And I'm gonna hide this. That way I'm showing the access logs got deleted. And I'm going to copy this in here. And now I'm going to turn the access logs back on, and I can delete this one that I don't need. So now all of these assets match so that whatever one I grab is going to end up being the one I need, essentially. The only thing that I'm kind of worried about is with this like zooming in and out business, because I think I'm going to have to create shapes out of these and have the stroke always be the same size. Otherwise, it's going to scale up as I zoom in here. So that's a consideration that I'm going to have to make. So if that's how I'm going to do it, I can then just decide for myself in the setup process, in the, essentially in the animation setup process, that I don't have to separate all of the assets onto separate layers. That's going to save me time, because then I can just bring in the entire layer as a shape layer using Overlord. And then I can lock the stroke to always be this like 3 points. And that way it's not going to keep growing and shrinking. And I'm probably going to have to do that, the same thing for most of these other assets. With some assets, just because sometimes it's a little easier to work with linked Illustrator files. So with this, I might just accept the tiny little bit of change in line thickness, just because it's going to be easier using linked Illustrator files for this graphic here. But yeah, I'm going to have to make that decision once I get to the setup process and kind of pick and choose which ones I'm going to bring in as shapes and which ones I'm going to bring in as linked Illustrator files. So yeah. But for now, I think this scene is pretty much where I want it to be. So let's save that. Saving, great. And now let's go in here and make some changes, because there are definitely a few things that I need to make changes on. And I also need to make a decision on the color of this computer, because most of this, I made a distinction here between the white computer being the bad computer, the hacker computer, and this dark one being the receiving computer, so the system that is being hacked. But here I don't... Yeah, actually, I guess it's the same thing. This is the receiving computer, so it's the one that is being hacked. So I guess it kind of makes sense to keep this color. I also like the contrast between the dark computer screen and the white background. And since we only see the malicious computer where the hacker code is being written, we only see that one time. I can either make the decision that I'm gonna go for the blue color. I can highlight this. I hope it didn't highlight anything else. And I can make it this with the blue outline. And let's just remove that for a second. Sorry. And I have this darker blue that I can use for this, so it has the same distinction. I mean, I could go for this type of thing. I guess it makes it a little bit more obvious that it's like blue is bad. That's what I'm trying to establish throughout this thing. Like blue is bad, and therefore everything that's blue is like danger. So maybe I'll just go with that. So maybe I'll make this blue as well. Or maybe not, because they are building the resources out of the information that they are getting from the recon, which would be from the other, from the system that is being hacked. So one other thing that I might want to then change is remove the blue color from anything that isn't supposed to be dangerous, so to speak. I think I can leave it in like these little dots, but I could remove it from here, for example. I can remove it from here as well. So I just want to change this one and this one, and maybe I'll just use the light black color, and I'll do the same for this. No, maybe in this case I'll just go for the gray. And maybe this computer is, or this server is not going to be this black either. I can just go for... Well, the black isn't really the issue. I can go with the... Now I'm unsure. Yeah, I'm most of the time I'm using the very dark black color. So I think I can keep it like this, but what I can change is this blue, so that way it's even more distinguished from the other the hacker computer, so to speak. I can actually make this even more obvious that this is the hacker computer. I can just switch these colors around, and how I can do that is I can highlight the entire object, and I can go to this color wheel, recolor artwork. It's a little color wheel next to your opacity and your style. I think I need to go to advanced options. Okay, when I open the advanced options, I can now drag these colors. So I can drag this color to this. I can switch this around. I don't know if I love that. I definitely don't want the background to be that color. But maybe I want this color to be this color as well. No, I don't. But maybe I want this front color just to be this dark black. Maybe not. I'm undecided. But basically now it's like all the blue is here, you know? So it's like, it's symbolizing even more that this is like bad things are happening here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and make those changes with all the other stuff to distinguish even more between what is the personal computer, or what is the system that is about to be hacked or is being hacked, and what is the hacker and the hacking, I was going to say hacking material, but the malware essentially. So I want to distinguish these colors even more. So now the viewer is being signaled through speech what is happening, as well as through the imagery of what is happening. And on top of that, the imagery has kind of like an iconography where the color is symbolizing something. So you're adding 3 levels of information that all speak the same language, so to speak, so to say. So basically, you want to make it as visually clear what the story is already telling you. But if you make it visually obvious or highlighting, I don't know, either one of those, highlighting what the story is saying, okay, let's circle back. The intention of the visuals are to highlight what the speaker or the story is saying. So if you can make your visuals as obvious as possible and then also reuse the same iconography or the same visuals to mean the same things, the viewer will make that connection throughout the video, and then it will be a lot clearer than using new visuals every time you're trying to tell or talk about the same thing, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's switch these colors around. I definitely want to go for the blue. I kind of like the dark in the front as well as in the back. Maybe I can do the lighter black in the back instead then. Maybe that's going to look interesting. I don't know if I like that. Let's see. I mean, it barely makes a difference. Barely makes a difference. We can just leave it like that. And then I'm going to also make this one the blue color, and I'm gonna remove this. Oh, that's the wrong blue. It's supposed to be this one. Oh, actually, yep, that. And I'm going to get rid of this highlight, make this the dark blue, and I'm going to change this again. All of the whites, I would like them to be gray so that I can make the background white. I guess I'm gonna have to go inside of the screen. It's not letting me highlight the background of this screen because I'm using the clipping mask as the color. So now it's gonna look like this. And I think I want to change this document to be one of the documents I've already used, so it's not a new document. Okay, so I've changed the colors here. Ooh, oh no, what have I done here? Oh no, I've changed everything. Oh no, I've changed everything in some capacity that I didn't intend to change. So let's go back because I don't know at what point I started changing these things. So I think the last time I changed something was, or the first time I changed something was on this screen. So I'm gonna save this. And actually, I didn't do this time, but it's a good idea to version your storyboards. If not for every change you make, but definitely for each day you work on it. So normally at the beginning of each of my files, I have a reverse date. So it's year, month, day. And that way I have an archive of files. I'll just show you really quickly. So as I said, I didn't do this for this storyboard, but normally normally I do it for everything. That in this project files folder, I normally have an archive folder, and then I version all of the files that I'm working on. This might be Illustrator files, After Effects files, InDesign files, whatever it is, and I move them in there as soon as they become obsolete. I don't delete them because the whole point of versioning it is that you have a backup. So if you make a drastic change to your design, then save over that, but then change your mind about it. It's really hard to go back. So having this like everyday version of your file, you can go back to a previous design. This is also really useful when you're working on client work, because the client might change their mind and wants to go back all the way to the beginning. That happens all the time. So it's really important that you have a versioning system that allows for that. Okay. Now let's make these changes again, because I did it wrong and now I have to do it again. So you can watch me do this again. So now I'm inside of this group, so nothing else should change as I'm making these changes again. So hopefully nothing breaks this time. And since I'm using the color, what is it again? Recolor artwork option for this, I'm not highlighting anything else apart from this, so nothing should be breaking. And I'm going to use this for that. Okay. And now let's make the same changes for this. And now I want to highlight one of these little squares, and then I'm using select similar objects, which unfortunately is cut off on the screen, but it's just above. It's like the little taskbar above, and when you select a path, it's the last one on the right. And I have all attributes selected, which means it will highlight everything that has the same attributes as this path, which is just a white fill in this case. But I have a bunch of these. As you can see, it goes off the screen past the clipping mask, and a few of these little code lines are also in that color. And then the clipping mask is creating the screen color, so I'm going to grab that and make that white. And I'm going to grab this, which should grab all of the ones that are white with the black outline. And I'm going to make these the blue as well. I'm going to remove this highlight thing and make this the darker color. One other thing I would like to change is I think I brought the outline of the screen forward somehow at some point. I guess I didn't, so yeah, this should be fine then. But this is double, so I don't need that to be double. And it looks like it's thinner, but I think that's just appears that way. And I think I can remove this as well. And that way I can make this the blue. Great. Okay, so we fixed that. Now I'd like to fix this as well. I'm gonna do the recolor artwork trick again. And oh, sorry, no. What did I do? I want this to be that color, that's right, and this to be the black. Okay. Alright. And also, yeah, I don't want the screens to be black either. I think I removed that here as well. So I want the screens to be white, because this gray, it's not very pleasant. So I'm going to make that white. And I'm going to repeat that motion on all the other screens. And here as well. So here it's the same issue with the zooming in. I'm going to have to make a decision on if I'm going to use shapes here so that when I'm zooming into this full screen, the lines don't distort too much. So I'm gonna have to probably use shapes here. The reason I don't want to use shapes everywhere, it's because sometimes it's difficult. If you have too many shapes in a scene, then the scene gets really heavy, and then animating gets difficult, and then exporting is really heavy. So sometimes I just prefer not to have everything as shapes. If I could have everything as shapes, it's probably much easier to work with. You also don't have any you don't have any Illustrator file that's linked and can get lost. So ideally we could always work with vector shapes, but sometimes that is not possible. And now we have this. So there's a background here. Let's just not have that. Oh, I see. Now this is a little... So why is this gray again? Oh, right, yeah. Okay, so I actually have to make the little sheet of paper white as well, because it's like the door. So this entire screen is gonna have to, but I think I'm going to replace this piece of envelope, this piece of document. And actually another thing that came to mind is this doesn't need to be in this larger browser, because really I only need this little thing, so this browser thing can actually go away. And that kind of simplifies the screen a little bit. I don't know if the screen is now maybe a bit too boring. I'm gonna have to see once I start adding everything that is necessary. I'm gonna see a little later. And yeah, this whole scene needs to be reworked, so I'm gonna have to come back to that. So I'm gonna save, and I'm gonna take a quick break, and I'll be right back. Oh, right, and I'm back. Okay, so where were we? Yeah, so I'm going to have to recolor this, but I'm gonna use a different document. Okay, so let's slowly work our way back. So these people are being identified, or, you know, it's a recon mission. And something I don't like about these is that first of all, yeah. I think what I don't like about these is... I need to find this group. So again, good idea to close your groups when you don't need them to be open. And then I'm looking for this little icon here, and it's making it a little difficult seeing that icon. So if you highlight or double click your layer, you can change the color of your icon. That will also change the outline, the bounding box of your groups that are inside of that layer. So I'm gonna go in, but for some reason it didn't change the group color, which is a little frustrating. Yeah, so that's super frustrating. It didn't at all change the group color. That is so annoying. But that's fine. I'm gonna go into this group. I'm gonna go all the way in, not into the shape. I'm gonna have to go into the clipping group, which is this one. And actually at this point I can also color the documents that are inside of here. So I'm gonna do those two things at the same time. So what I did to unhide this is I just turned off the visibility on the compound path layer, which acts as a clipping mask. And now I can highlight everything that is inside. But I also need to hide this compound shape because it's on top of everything. So I don't want this to be the blue color anymore. I want this to be just the gray, because it doesn't really matter what these documents are. They're just documents. So, and I don't like that the body of this little dude is the dark color. Instead, I'm gonna make the hat the dark color. So that's about it. Oh, and I should probably turn the relevant layers back on. And that now also means that I have this is the final setup. Oh yeah, and while we're on the screen, no, I'm gonna focus on one thing first. I also need to resize these titles. But actually, for this screen, the title just goes because I made the decision that the title for each of these sections only appears once. So I'm just going to remove it for now. And the other thing that I would like to do is I would like to copy this over here. And I think what I was thinking of at this point... so I'm gonna remove the recon, and actually I'm gonna remove the recon for all of the frames where we don't need this recon title. Okay, so yeah, that's the first one. I think what I was thinking of is that this is traveling around, and at this point they are coming in. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna go back into this group, and I'm going to determine that this is in the center of the frame, which it is currently. Doesn't look like it, but apparently it's in the center of the frame. And this is just going to be off screen, like that. That way, I can copy this entire group onto the other scenes, and also I can now center this in frame like this. I'm going to remove this and place this here, and at this point we are now I want to move these two. And at this point, I think I need to show less of these little guys. And I think they're supposed to have lines as well. Yeah, I think there are some lines missing here actually. So I need to undo that because I need to make some changes here. So I think there are some lines missing. Let's add those lines. So I want the line to be, sure. And I want the path to be, oh, I see. I just turned off the lines. Yes, I turned off the lines. Not sure why I did that. But yeah. Okay, so now I need to turn the group and the mask back on. Somehow this is not in the center. Okay, now it is. I guess it wasn't supposed to be in the center in the first place, but it's fine. So at this point, and it pastes this at the top of the scene, but I think I just want the groups right next to each other. So I'm just gonna pull it down in my layer stack just to have a little bit of order where these scenes are, or these groups, these assets are. So what's happening next is this and this is moving over. And this is moving to a different spot. So what's supposed to be happening here is that we don't see all of these workers yet. So I'm going to hide some of these. And that means I'm going to have to move this to a different location. And I think this is already out of view at this point. Okay. So let's say it's these three, okay? And maybe in this one is going to be more than those three. Let's put a few more, not this one. Let's put a few more on the map here. Okay. So just trying to figure out what order these groups are supposed to go in. Okay, like that. So now this group is entirely gone out of view, and this one is supposed to be front and center. Oops, no. And here the documents slowly appear. And this is where this needs to go down a little bit. And that means I now need the recon text in the correct size. So this is the size I've decided the text should be. So I'm going to add that here. And let's change this to recon. And then I know how low this needs to go. And I guess at this point it could actually be bigger, but I'm gonna make that decision once I'm animating it, I think. And now these two can go a little lower. And I'm going to bring these two groups down to where the other groups are, which I don't know where they are. Down here, okay. So now it should be this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Great. Okay. And at this point, I think I also want to move this group of people closer into the frame. And I'm going to have to adjust this. Whoops, nope, not the corners. Alright, so now we have something like this happening. The recon. At this point, this should probably move as well. Where is that group? Here. All right, let's go back. So they're doing recon, they're finding all of these documents, and then they're doing recon on the people that work there. And this recon can go. And then they're doing resource development. So I'm going to replace the title as well here. Oops. I need to grab this entire thing. Okay. Resource development, and then that also means I can use the whole title instead of just half of it the way I had it before. And I can also group this entire thing, which apparently I didn't do last time. And for the title, what is this? That's the box, okay. For the title, I'm gonna lock the text so I can grab the anchor points behind it. And then I'm gonna unlock the text so that's not going to cause me any problems down the line. And then I can remove this from the other screens. And here we have initial access. I just realized that I need to move this in the same position, otherwise it moves the group all the way at the top if one of the items are at the top of my layer stack. Okay, this was initial access. Oops. Initial access. Okay, great. Now what I would like to do I'm just thinking if I should deal with this scene first or if I should make some amends. Probably just finish making the amends. So we have Miter Attack. I think Miter Attack can stay big, but as soon as it gets to this size, I think I should be using the smaller version of that. So let's go here. And I think this is large enough for text, right? Oh, before I do the text, I would like to change the color of this. And I think for highlight purposes, I'm still going to use some of these, the blue for some of these things. But for this particular one, there's a little too much blue here. So let's use... So hang on a second. The main thing I wanted to do here is, I think, just to get rid of damn it. It's not doing what I wanted to do. So basically I just want to remove this blue. I can just make it gray. Yeah, and that way it already differs from the other system. And what I would like to do here is just remove this and make it this color. And I'm gonna do the same here. Nope, I'm just gonna make that gray. And I think little dots here are fine. I could go ahead and make them a different color, but I think that's going a little overboard. So now, you know, it has a much more reduced color palette with that. Without that blue, that striking bright blue. All right, I also need to make the changes here. And I think for this, I actually just want this to be the gray again. And I think at this point, it's just going to be easier to go through these singular items. I could copy paste and like remove, but I don't know how much effort I would be saving. So I'm just gonna do it like this. Oops. Okay. And the only downside is now this is quite bland looking. I guess that was the reason why I had a little bit of the blue in the design. It does look more interesting this way. Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna stick to this a little bit more muted color palette, and then I'll make a decision down the line if that's the way I want to go. So this color palette is literally just based on a color palette that I got from the Undraw assets that I got from the Undraw website. When you go to Undraw, you can pick a color, and I just picked this blue, and then it came with the gray and like 2 shades of the black. So to complement that, I added, or it came with 1 shade of the black, so I complemented that with another shade of the blue and another shade of the black to have a little bit of dynamic. But usually I actually use color. Oops, opened my snipping tool there. It's color picker. Coolers is the website. Is really cool. It's by this dude Fabrizio. And oh, actually no, this is a different website. This website I use to create shades and highlights and find the appropriate CMYK to the RGB, and you can also find Pantone colors that match whatever color you've picked out. And I use this to put together my brand colors, actually. I created brand guidelines for myself so that I can always refer to it when I want to use my brand colors somewhere. But there's another website that is super useful for color picking, but I don't remember which one it was just now. Let me just have a quick look in my saved. And that website that I'm trying to find is definitely something I recommend. It's really easy to find really nice color palettes, and it suggests colors that work well together. Can't find it. I think I may have not saved it as a separate file, but maybe it's on a different website that has a lot of various suggestions or like tools for designers. Let me see if I can find that website. It's the illustration directory by what's his name? I forget the name, but basically it's this website, illustration.tools, and it's a directory of all types of tools, paid and unpaid, that are super useful. And Picula is the one of the color suggestion sites that I use that is really cool. So you can just type in anything. They are using, ocean, and then it comes up with a bunch of colors, and you can pick them, and they kind of already match. But then there's another website. Let me see if I can find it. I'm pretty sure it's on this directory. And what you can do is you can go to tools, and you can filter colors. And this color hunt. This is super good. And oh no, it is Coolers. So it was that one after all. Okay, so if you go to the coolers.co main site, yeah, you can just start the generator. This is the thing I meant. So let's say I like this color. I can lock it, and then I can, what do I have to do? I think I need to hit enter. Do I need to hit enter? Play? Okay, it's a spacebar. And then it picks colors that kind of match this overall theme, and you can lock them as you go and find a color palette that way. It's really fun. So this site I recommend a lot, and Picula is really fun. And yeah, just check out illustration.tools. It's a really good website for all types of tools and helpful things. But yeah, like Tom suggested, you can also pixelate pictures, photos, and eyedrop the colors in Photoshop. So there's loads of different methods. I don't know if the screen now looks super sad with all of the blue taken out of it. Ooh, I am... okay, I'm not sure about this, because it looks a lot more bland than before. But, I mean, the blue, the whole point of the blue is that it's like, saying... It's a highlight color, but it's also like saying something bad is happening. So I don't want to use the blue willy-nilly, like here, like the bad things are happening, everything's blue. I'm gonna leave it like this. I'm gonna think about it. This is another thing that's very useful when you are designing. Don't force yourself to make a decision. Sometimes you do need to step away and kind of sleep on it, think about it, and then come back to the design and look at it with fresh eyes. So if you can, just jump onto another project or take a break from that particular scene, maybe work on a different scene. So that's a good way of kind of making a decision without making a decision. Making a decision for, having the decision made for you by just not engaging with it. Okay, so I want one of these documents. Maybe this back document, because we don't see this one a lot. So maybe I want this back document to be this document that appears here, that comes out of this screen. And I think what I want this to, I guess it's already that one. Yeah, I just removed 2 of those lines. Okay, so it's essentially already that one. But the change I would like to make here is, let's make this the same width. Why did that not make any changes? And why does that have a weird... Okay, there you go. Link what to the master properties? The colors, you mean? Yeah, I could do that. That's an option for sure. I mean, if I'm using Illustrator files, I can always color them in later, that's for sure. If they're going to be with this document, it might end up being where was I going with the sentence? A shape, then it would be useful to link the colors and then I can change them. Okay, so what I want is this not to be gray. I think that was the main point, because at the end it's supposed to like open up and reveal this door, but actually I don't mind that. I think the document can be gray, just to create a contrast between the screen and this door type thing. And when it closes, yeah, I think I know where I'm going with this now. Okay, so basically this needs to close again, and I don't need this background anymore. So basically I'm going to remove this for now, because this little guy is gonna crawl across the screen and like go away. And then this door is gonna close again, which actually means I'm gonna grab this. And then it can just disappear. So there we go. And this screen can be an explanation of how this disappears, and I already have an idea of how to do that. We can just create the same thing that we had in the second storyboard. This door thing, this kind of the door frame animates itself away. So essentially the rest of the door animates, or this document that acts like a door to the system. Global swatch. A global swatch. Whoa. You are not speaking a language I understand. There is a global swatch that can change all of my AI colors? What? I don't know what you speak of. It sounds like magic. Tom always coming in here with some new wisdom. Okay, so now what I would like is, let's just say the fill color of this fades away. Let's put this to 50. And the frame is gonna get masked out, which means I need the frame separately now. And this one should not have the frame. And I guess I can use the mask from this one. Copy. V. Oops. Where is this mask? Here. Come on. And let's say all of this is getting smaller. What is this? There's something hidden here. Oh, yeah. I suppose I did hide that, didn't I? Oh, I see. These are all singular objects. Just group all of that. And then I can just make that get smaller. To zoom in. So. And then it looks something like this. So we have the kind of visual of it comes in, it opens up, it closes, the bug goes free, and then the door disappears and we have our little execute that happens. And okay, so oh, I didn't finish adjusting this, huh? And is this screen gray? I think this screen is gray. Let's make this screen not gray. It isn't gray. Okay, it just appears that way. All right. I think I'm more or less there. There are just a few minor details that I still need to do, but I think I'm gonna keep that for next time because I'm getting a little tired and I need to get off my knees of this knee chair. Yeah, the YouTube chat doesn't let anyone send any links apparently. Thanks Tom. I'll have a look at that. That sounds like a really interesting little thing. Okay, so I think first of all I'm going to get rid of this screen because I don't think I want the transition to be this, and I think I'm going to work with just the titles instead of the little screens, but maybe I'll use the frames inside of it. I don't know. I don't know. I need to think about it. But before we do that, there's one more thing I need to do, and that is change the color of this. So I don't want this to be this anymore. This and this, I'd like them to be the light gray. Same for these guys. So here. Okay, and now I've decided that these, the little highlights in here, first of all, I need to remove these because they don't accurately highlight, they don't accurately demonstrate what's happening here. What is happening here is... Oh, no. No. What I would like is one of these, not in the blend, to be the blue. Okay. This much more accurately represents what would happen, because Andy was a little confused with the grading going across, so we're not doing that anymore. Now we're talking about the entire column, and now we're talking about the single actions. Same with this one. And same with this. So I need to grab this again. Oh no. Okay. Let's group this. And let's group this. And this. Whoa. Some sort of rectangle alone over here. Okay, and now I want this again. Oops. And now I want this again. Nope. Okay. Now we have a much more accurate representation of what's going to happen here, and this also needs to be not blue. And the last remaining thing to do for this edit is make this smaller, make this title smaller. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Where do we have this group? Down here? Okay. And now the decision is, which I'm also going to have to make for all the titles, if I want all the titles to be all caps, or if I want them to be sentence case or title case, depending. So, I don't know yet. But for now, let's make MITRE sentence case or title case, depending. And I'm going to remove it from the other frames. Oops, okay. And then that means this can go in the center at this point. And this can go at the same height as soon as the title disappears. This can jump up a little bit. And now I have to find the position. Oh, no. That's the previous position. Yeah, I should maybe make them camel case. That's a good idea. Let's see what that looks like, and maybe I'll actually go for that. Be funny. Okay, so all right. Now here, this needs to be smaller too. The attack. And this is, yeah, the thing is the attack framework, that actually needs to be capitalized because it's an acronym for a longer word, which I don't remember. Oh no! Did I unlock that? No, I did not. Okay, that means... oh yeah, this also needs to go higher. Like here, maybe. I think here we can keep it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that, how I'm gonna do that. But basically at this point it can go, or rather needs to be replaced, and here, and then this can be large, that's okay. But these three, I think, can be more like the... I should save in the second storyboard. we have this, but they are really far apart. Maybe I'll just leave it for this screen, this large. Let's see. Actually, Andy wanted his logo in this screen, so maybe we'll do that. And I'm gonna have to ask him for a vectorized version of his logo, but essentially it looks like this. So maybe I'll just grab that real quick. Even though it's gonna be super, super tiny. But just so I have a reminder. Why are you pasting it down there? So random. Actually, I can just vectorize it. It's not that... Yeah, let's just vectorize. Let's just trace it now. We've got 3 colors. Oh, damn. Okay. Wow. That's... What did you do? Yay, maybe I'll go line art? No. Sketched art? No. Why are you making it so soft? God. Black and white logo? No. Why are you removing all of the... Bloody hell. That's... Okay. Alright, let's go 3 colors and bring back my corners. More corners. More paths. No, I want less paths. I mean... ignore white. Yeah, okay, so Andy is definitely gonna have to give me this as a vectorized logo, but anyway, let's expand this real quick. And then let's go for... I wonder if I can use coolers with my own color palette. I can. Ah, that's cool. Okay, so I'm gonna use these colors that I have already picked out. Whoops, no, I need the hex. Give me the hex. I'm gonna put this here, and I'm gonna use this one. And let's grab the gray as well. And let's see, I think I can use the blue that I'm already using. That's close enough to Andy's blue. So I need like a red and a green color in this same style. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Let's see how successful I'm going to be. All right. Now, let's unlock. Yeah, sure. Got a green. I need to unlock this one. And let's go for a reddish. Ooh. Well. I don't know if I love this. Maybe I should go for a different green. I also don't love the green. Oh, that's an interesting green. Let's try it with this one. Yeah, maybe. Oh, I like this red. I don't like the green now. Changing my mind. Maybe? Too dark. I think I should go closer to Andy's original color, so it's not quite so different. Maybe this. Let's try this. Okay. And then Andy can have an idea of what it might look like. So the one at the top right is the green. And I will use this green. Ooh, nice. Nice, nice. Very nice. Okay, let's grab this green. And this one's supposed to be the blue. And this one's gonna be the red. Let's grab that red. Where's my coolers? Here. Okay. So now we brought that a little bit closer into this color palette. Still not super hyped on this red and that green. Maybe we can find different red. I think the green is pretty good. It's like complementing this blue color. You can switch them around to see the colors next to each other. You can add a color. Wow, that's cool. So you can add a color too. How useful. So let's see if I can find a red that isn't quite so biting. You know what? I think this black is more important to match. And now I'm thinking the green doesn't fit either. I think the red needs to be different. I don't know. Okay, yeah, I like this green. Yeah, maybe like this type of red. A little bit more muted. Ooh, that's quite a bit darker from his original color palette. I don't know if he's gonna like that. Okay, I'm gonna save these for now. Let's see what Andy thinks. Save. Okay, now I've pretty much got all of the things that I wanted to change, apart from this last scene, which I've been avoiding. So, like I estimated, there is going to be one more of these, one more stream, changing a few of the looks or the scenes, the graphics in the storyboard. Mainly this last scene, I definitely want to have a look at that. But I endeavor to do that on the next stream, which will be on Friday. So if you'd like to see that, join me on Friday. We'll finish the storyboard together, and then I will set up everything. I'll set up all of my files, make the decisions on which of these assets are going to be vectorized and brought in as shape layers, and which are going to be brought in as linked after Illustrator files. And yeah, and then we're gonna go from there and start animating. So I hope you enjoyed today's stream. If you did, give this video a thumbs up. If you'd like to support me, you could subscribe on the platform of your choice, and you can even become a member and support me on a monetary basis on Patreon or Ko-fi. And you can buy me a coffee on Ko-fi. I still don't know how to say that. I'll never know how to say that. You can find all of the information in the description below of this video. If you've missed any of the past streams of this series, you can catch up on my YouTube channel. All the past streams are uploaded there. And yeah. If you have any questions in the meantime, you can reach me on all the typical social media. And I hope to see you next time. Bye!